ministerial nominees by President Bola Tinubu. The discussion has centered around that list and other issues relating to governance in the country. In some quarters, the list is described as maybe batch A. 12 states representing so far, 11 states yet to be represented, 7 women on the list, 21 men, 2 sitting lawmakers, 4 former governors, 6 former lawmakers, 2 chieftains of parties other than the ruling party, and so on and so forth. On Insight today, we intend to stay with the discussion and maybe take a dispassionate look at that list. And I have a guest who is very ably qualified to do that. His name is Dr. Law MEFOR. He is a forensic and social psychologist. He's a teacher, a journalist, a public policy analyst, and a media and communication strategist. Dr. MEFOR, thank you for joining us on Insight today.
Yeah, thank you for hosting the Lord. Good morning, Nigeria.
Hello, Dr. MEFOR. You seem to be breaking. I don't know. Hello, can you hear us?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, I think we will need to take a short break. We'll get back to Dr. MEFOR in a moment. Let me turn the mic so that bring it. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. Yes, we have Dr. Law MEFOR back on the line. Dr. MEFOR, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for hosting me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning, Dr. MEFOR. Yes, you can join our live stream on YouTube by typing in Citizen FM 93.7. You can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng. And don't forget our social media platforms are there on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So you can be part of the program, and that's how it's going to be. The ministerial nominees, at least the first batch, we understand that the Senate is going to commence screening today. So let's start with Dr. Law MEFOR. Dr. MEFOR, I'm sure you have digested the names on that list. Let's start by having your, maybe just briefly, your general assessment of the list before we go into details.
Yeah, I have taken a dispassionate look at the 28-man list. I think on the whole, it's not looking bad. In terms of the combined competencies, I think they are well above the average. But I must also quickly point out that that the list is not in any way exceptional. What I mean by that is that there is no surprise star appointment on the list at all. Let me give you an example of what I mean. If you go back in time, you will see inclusions of somebody like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. So clearly one could see where she was coming from and what the economy would look like under her supervision as the coordinating minister of the economy. I can't see any well, maybe somebody like Professor Tate, Professor Momo, Stella, the one coming from Exim Bank, and Adepo, one or two others. I don't see Pate, for example, has been with us as Minister of State. So he's actually the world-class public health expert. But that is the much one can say. So if you must say that there is or there should be a star appointment there, that could be him. So for me, it's just above average. I can also see a fair combination of what you may call politicians and technocrats. Before I have mentioned already, are called technocrats. And of course, one or two other politicians are also technocrats in their own right. For example, somebody like Rufai was a technocrat before he became a politician, and I don't think that being a politician or being a governor or a former minister would take away that from him. No, it doesn't. The only thing is that the age may have been blunted by politics. In other words, he may not, such persons that have may have been tested in the murky waters of Nigerian politics. They have the age blunted by that experience. That may be, just maybe, a problem that may be coming from people like that. I also see the 25% to the women. That is considerably in the direction of affirmative action. The women, I'm sure, will be talking of 35%, but I think 25% is a good start. And we hope that in the balance of the list of the ministers to be submitted, because the constitutional requirement is that every state must be on the list, and the 11 states are not there yet. What that means is that the supplementary would take care of that constitutional provision. So I pray and advise the president should maintain that 25% affirmative action, and that's it. And of course, I reflect, and I can't see any person with disability on the list. I think that segment is quite important and should also be reflected so that everybody is carried along. You know why I am looking for an exceptional list? Nigeria has come to a very bad patch that requires extreme leadership, extreme thinking, extreme, exceptional leadership. That is how we see it in social psychology.
All right.
The problem we are facing now is not what can be resolved by thinking a normal and conventional way. You need disruption. You need disruptors, people who can really think radically and they push for a new direction for the Nigerian citizenry and the economy. Take for instance the twin policy of a fuel subsidy removal and the naira floating. The combined effect has unleashed onto the hardships of the Nigerian masses.
All right, Dr. MEFOR. Dr. MEFOR.
Are the gains, you were saying so.
Okay, Dr. MEFOR, a lot of people would say, at least in reacting to your opening statement, a lot of people, Nigerians would say, well, the country has never really been in short supply of technocrat, world standard technocrat. You mentioned Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We've also had Dr. Adeshina of the African Development Bank. We've had Dr. Obi and so many of them. But the problem has always been the system seems to suck them in when they come in, and they sort of become frustrated with the system.
Certainly, you're right. There are certain problems that are structural in nature. You know, the two problems confronting the Nigerian nation state at the moment are twofold. One is the problem of structure. The other is the problem of leadership. So when people who are really competent come in and meet a brick wall in the structural imbalances, their competence and capacity, you know, just they pale into insignificance. And that is what you mean by such persons being frustrated in the system. For example, the Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala you talked about, you recall when she was trying to get Nigeria to save for the rainy day, you know, structurally, she cannot push it past the presidency. The Nigerian governors, led by Rotimi Amaechi, you know, they went to court and, you know, made nonsense of that beautiful policy. And it's one of the reasons why Nigeria is stranded today. You know, so you're right. You are really right that the structures we have need to be retooled. Yes, if efficiency will be introduced in the system. So leadership is not enough. Oh. You need to really alter the functional structures if leadership will be effective at the ministerial level.
Okay, Dr. MEFOR, the president submitted 28 names. Some people say yes. 8 short of the minimum expected for this list. Is there a legal backing to this?
I think you know, the constitutional amendment compels the president to submit his ministerial list to the Nigerian Senate on or before 60 days from his swearing in. So you can say that since this is a constitutional or legal provision, and President Tinubu submitted only 28, you know, rather than a minimum of 36 or 37 if you include the Federal Capital Territory. You know, it means that he fulfilled the constitutional provision only partially. You know, so, and I just pray that this doesn't come up as a tussle, because an NGO can go to court and really challenge the legality of possible nomination. You know, so we should be avoiding this kind of impasse. There is no reason Tinubu shouldn't have submitted the full list. He is probably trying to maybe those whose security reports were too advanced may be dropped, and you need the time to look around for possible replacements. But there ought to be a pool. You know, there ought to be a pool. You know, of 3 nominees per state. You know, for me, that's the thing. There ought to be a pool. So if the first nominee is knocked out, you replace with the second. And this doesn't seem to be what the president applied as a measure. And I also think that he's bowing to too much pressure. He gave too much space for too much politicking. You know, so you can see a nomination process. You know, for me, I prefer Obasanjo's approach to issues like this. You just nominate those you think can do this job from the state. But now you pass it through political party structures in the state, so much wrangling, you know, vested interest. They are no longer thinking of competence and things like that. At the end of the day, you will have you know, less than you know, commendable you know, submissions from states, because everything is about influence and politics, not driven by competence. All right. It does appear that the president himself has fallen prey to this, because he allowed too much politics, as far as I am concerned. And again, like I said, one thing that could have saved him this is that if you want the governors to nominate, you don't ask for a single nomination. tell the governor that you need a nomination of 3 to 5 persons from, a list from which the president should be at liberty to pick. And you scrutinize the nominations. If they don't meet your standard, for example, you discard it and use their discretion to take people from the state. President Tinubu should play less of politics, and face governance. He needs a team that will help him do the job.
All right.
So for me, I think the partial fulfillment of the extant law by the president is a violation. It's a violation of such a law. Because the law says you must submit the complete list. The law never said you have to send the list in batches. And if you have to send the list in batches, you must do so before expiration of 60 days.
All right, Dr. MEFOR, before we go on break, I want us to take this. Now, the National Assembly is expected, at least the Senate is expected to begin the screening today. You have been in the National Assembly under different capacities, and from experience, we know how the screening goes. Most of the time, former lawmakers, former this and former that, are just asked to take a bow and go. Are we likely to see anything different this time?
I don't see why that policy will change, because it's a kind of a privilege enjoyed by members of National Assembly. So if you were qualified to be a senator or a member of House of Reps, you are deemed automatically qualified to be or become a minister. And the logic, I think, is sound enough. After all, what you get now is not really screening, in my own estimation. What I see is pure ritualistic redundancy, because it's meaningless. I say it's meaningless in the sense that when you send nominees without attaching portfolios to them, the screening becomes a jamboree, becomes a process of fulfilling all righteousness. Because when you don't know the ministry, the nominee who will be assigned to, you can't ask proper questions. You cannot. Because somebody who is eminently qualified to go to youth and sports, cannot fit into maybe an engineering sector, finance sector and stuff. That is the issues. So you need to know what these nominees are bringing to the table. What you need from them, because they are going to be the chief policy makers and chief policy drivers of the president. What I mean is that you need to see that they really understand the kind of change required in the various ministries. But one who is suitable for one ministry cannot be suitable for another. So if you go there, the kind of question you will get under this kind of spurious circumstance is the questions that are generic in nature, general, and at the end of the day, it's just a matter of who blew grammar, very well. That is what you just get, because you can't hold them to anything. If you, for example, nominated Dr. MEFOR to go to a ministry of trade.
Hello, Dr. MEFOR. Okay, I think we lost Dr. MEFOR there. But we'll take a short break now, and when we return...
What will you bring to the table to change the fortunes of the ministry? So tell me, is there anybody that will be in a position to give you this kind of insight? It's not possible, because there is no ministry attached to them. None of them knows the ministry to go to. And I guess the president is afraid that if he tells them the ministries now, they may decline. Many of them may decline. Remember the experience of Senator Udoma, who was nominated, I think, by President Obasanjo. And
from the Senate.
Where did he decline? He went through the screening, but in the swearing-in chamber, he discovered he was assigned Minister of State to Environment. He walked away. Dora Akoyi also told us that when she found out that she was going to information, she had to go to the toilet to weep. Something like that. And you have the Festus Kiyamo telling us that, look, your duties of the Minister of State, which he was assigned, is an unconstitutional one, which means that if he knew beforehand, he may not have really taken it. So, but I don't think it is fair. It should be only those who are interested, committed, who want to do the work, that should be given the opportunity. So they should be told, the ministry, that they are going to. So if you don't want to decline, then they shop for a replacement. 2 months, 60 days is sufficient to find people. So that's it.
Okay, Dr. MEFOR, since we are talking about clearance, let's also talk about the security clearance normally gotten from security agencies. Some people have also raised question, is this really necessary? Bearing in mind that sometimes in the course of the duties of these ministers, even when given clearance from the security agencies, we find out things about their past that escaped the eyes of security agencies.
That is why I said that the whole thing is ritualistic redundancy. If they need to define what they mean by security clearance. You need to really define it. If you're looking in terms of whether the individual has past convictions, criminal records. The DSS is not the only institution that should have access to such information. It should be public record. So for me, the so-called security screening adds very little or nothing, because I don't know what would disqualify a nominee that is not available in the open space. The available should be open. What they should do is what I personally think that should be more effective is subjecting these nominees to public scrutiny. It's not a DSS scrutiny. DSS works from a partisan perspective. If it is neutral, if it is neutral, we may see. But if you submit this list to the Nigerian public, you will get petitions that you will really utilize if you verify those petitions to be true, not the ones written by bad people. You should be able to sift from the real and those done outright malice, against one nomination or the other. I think that the proper thing to do is to really, allow the public to vet these people. That of DSS, it has to be defined, and that is not in the public space. I believe that Nigerians scrutinizing these people will give us better outcome than what the DSS has been doing over the years.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. MEFOR. We will take a short break and we will return after the break. Insight will continue. Please don't go away.
Citizen FM Abuja, now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM Abuja, now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa!
Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, bringing you news updates on digital technology around us, discussing the latest development and how technology can enrich you and make your life more exciting. Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, welcome to our world of technology. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12, Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, expanding our global reach through technology.
Looking for the best in news updates?
Yeah, man.
Listen to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Now listen. News on the hour, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. News at noon, 12 noon. News from across the states, 4 p.m. And our major news at 6 p.m. Citizen FM 93.7. Always precise in news broadcast.
Eunanda ni bila kane rini. Ile di kunyala na kwa bani bila vabesaka ineta Abuja anabi Citizen FM 93.7. Era so metete ene yani bila va se no seve ini radio ononi. Eku yo ni va se no seve ini ya bani bila saka obi eku ijumo eku Saturday ateku yo se eku etononi agugo himpoluva ava se men. Wa bani bila do ye ineta Abuja ezo wa ya kene ake wale jili nuwo do aka isana na inoku down ni. Ibila kanere me obi oni va se kale ni ya bani bila saka de ka da wona geten abone.
Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
Is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's still Insights on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence UMOETTE. My guest is still standing by, Dr. Law MEFOR, forensic and social psychologist, media and communication strategist. Dr. Law MEFOR, thank you for standing by.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still here.
Yes, okay. So, you can join our live stream as usual on YouTube. Type in Citizen FM 93.7. You can also call us on our phone lines. The lines are open now, 0903 2229797. That's 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. or 0818-2222-206. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of those numbers and let's know where you're writing in from. Yes, you can also make use of our social media platforms. 3 of them actually on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So we are talking about the presidential ministerial nomination list currently before the National Assembly, where the screening is expected to commence anytime soon. And my guest is Dr. Law MEFOR. He's been helping us make sense of some of the issues surrounding the list. Okay, Dr. MEFOR, quickly, let's look at some other issues surrounding that list. We have two names stood out here. Adebayo Adelabo, who is of the Accord Party. He was formerly in APC. And we also have former Governor Nyesom Wike, who is at least officially still a member of the PDP. Is this an interpretation of a government of national unity, or what do you make of this?
No, this is certainly not a government of national unity. Despite the sprinkling that you just identified, Nyesom Wike and Adelabo, they are there on their own and not representing their political parties. So they enjoy this nomination simply because of certain considerations that the president finds important. So for me, I see it essentially as a kind of compensation, a kind of more of compensation than what you may call government of a national unit. You recall the role of Nyesom Wike as governor of the Rivers State in destabilizing the PDP and doing everything he could, legal and extra-legal, to ensure that Tinubu won Rivers. That's the only reason he's on the list. He's not just to represent the PDP. You and I know that. If you want to form government of national unity, what you do is to ask for nomination for the political party. In other words, it should have been the neck of these political parties you mentioned that would nominate those to represent them in the government of national unity. That is certainly not what is on here. Because you know that the PDP certainly wouldn't have nominated Wike to represent them. Since he has been fighting, took 4 other governors along with him, the so-called G5 governors. And they all worked against the prospects of the PDP in winning the presidential election in February of this year. So I think it has nothing to do with government of national unity. It's all about compensation. The president is trying to compensate those. And he's not the only one. If you look at the nomination of the 4 governors, particularly, there is nothing exceptional about them. You see Rufai, there is Badaru, and others, 2 others. So they are not exceptional for one to begin to suspect that Tinubu needs their special skills, their exceptional leadership to be able to buoy up his presidency and deliver on his mandate and social contract with Nigeria. You don't get that. These are men that really helped him win, and he is compensating them. In other words, for Tinubu, the politics is far more important now than competence. And that is where my fear lies from, because for you to solve the myriad problems confronting the Nigerian economy, you certainly would need some fresh hands, those who are hungry to deliver. I don't see what an Rufai that was a minister in Abuja for in the last 20 years, a governor in Kaduna for 8 years, and now returning as a minister, 28 years after, what a fresh insight he will be bringing to bear on any ministry. In organizational psychology, there's what we call burnout. You do something, it gets to a level where you begin to really lose interest. So for such people accepting their nomination, they just want to remain relevant in the polity. Ordinarily, they ought not to accept those of them who have been ministers before, then governor. Wike was the minister for education, and then, later minister of state. Then later he became, when Professor Rufai resigned or something, Wike was acting minister of education, and later an 8-year, 2-term governor of Rivers State. So what will Wike be bringing to bear? Nothing, as far as I am concerned, except to be relevant, to go on and possibly use the office of further strengthen his fight against his own political party. So I think I'm not sure I agree with Tinubu there. I don't really think so, but he really needs people like that now. Because the problem confronting the nation, the economic problem, the economic crisis, in fact, the problem has badged into crisis. Because if you check the hardship unleashed on the polity, on the Nigerian masses, by the twin anti-masses policy of currency floating and fuel subsidy removal, the hardship is unprecedented. And I'm beginning to think that we may have to reverse the two policies until we can think them through better and come up with a strategy for their implementation. Okay. Otherwise, if you allow this to continue, total crisis may just erupt and convulse the system to the point that it may spiral out of control. Labor is gearing up to go on nationwide strike as from next tomorrow, August 2nd. Nobody knows how it's going to end. It's not looking good at all. So I have expected that President Tinubu will look for gurus. I think that is just one word that can capture the kind of nominees that I expected. But when I say star nominees, I mean gurus, people who are dominant in certain areas of the economy that once brought in should be able to drive a total change, positive change in such sector. Be it health, be it education, be it transportation, works. There is serious work to be done. Very serious work to be done.
Okay.
The rot in the system has been too deep, and you need real surgeons, real economic surgeons to begin to deal with the problem we have brought upon ourselves.
Okay, Dr. MEFOR, before we leave these personalities that we've mentioned, former governors, former ministers, there are some commentators who believe that they have very strong personality, and they are wondering, will the president be able to contain these personalities, the ambition and everything in the cabinet?
No, Tinubu is a very rugged person. That won't be any problem. He's the president, and yes, I know many of them are maverick, like Erufai, like Winche. Yes, they will try their hands in this and that, but I don't think they will beat the Tinubu when it comes to maverick politics. I really don't think so. That is not where my fear lies. My fear is while this kind of gang up and reflux current and negative energy anticipated from people like the ones I just mentioned. My main problem is that these men no longer have any motivation to really do anything. I don't see anything new that brings to the politics except being in the system. In other words, they will just be there, and the sector you hand over to them may really suffer more because they may not be able to really have that motivation to go the extra mile because they have nothing more to add. There's nothing. What should someone like Erufai prove now? Nothing. He is the minister of Abuja, and he made a total turnaround of the place. So if you bring him back as the minister of Abuja, what is new now? What will he bring back? If you take him to anywhere, walks, where is the zeal? Where is the energy? Where is the motivation? That's my fear. That's where we should all worry about. That they are human. I was looking at a week the other day. He was looking like a shadow of himself, spent, completely spent. And then you now want him to head maybe works, maybe wherever, energy or power, But the man now, the spirit may be willing, but the body is no longer as strong as it should be. So it's a problem I believe that the president should watch it. Maybe keep them there for a year and look for people that really replace them to get the job done.
Okay, Dr. MEFOR, before we go, because we're gradually rounding off, 11 states are yet to be represented in this list, but 3 states stand out in this 11 states: Kano, Lagos, and Osun. And if you remember from the presidential results, the president struggled in these 3 states. Now, what kind of pressure do you think will be going through the minds of the president getting representatives out of these 3 states?
The problem, that's why I say that the president shot himself, in the leg when he allowed too much politicking to go on. In a place like Lagos, that's his state. The president of the. Now, in a place like Kano, yes, we understand the conflicting interest between the Kwankwasia, Kwankwazo,
and the Ganduje,
and the Ganduje side.
Dr. MEFOR, yes. just a moment, please. We have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. Oh, sad. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
thank you so much for answering my
Dr. MEFOR, please just hold on.
Yes, my name is Alabi. I'm calling from Central area. I wish our guests could hear my voice. Opinions are very cheap, including mine inclusive. I'm surprised. I'm actually flummoxed to hear him demarket, the likes of El-Rufai, Wike, and Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi. And I always advise that away from just social media information, I have the privilege of, visiting, knowing very well about, this, not just this state, but as far as our political pathosphere, is concerned. And then I think it is laughable for anyone to actually try to talk down on the achievement, the very, very viable achievement of El-Rufai, Wike, and Ebonyi State Governor and Bagudu, a trip to these states, and then going back the research before the administration of these very great men, and after, I think it is obvious that they have more than enough to give to this country. Governor El-Rufai.
Hello, my brother. Please, I'm afraid we have to end it there. We are gradually running out of time. Let Dr. MEFOR respond to that.
Nobody is downplaying the rather outstanding performances of El-Rufai, Wike, and Dave Umahi as the former governors. They did excellently well. But the fact remains that they have nothing new to bring to the table. And Tinubu needs people who will be there to really work. And work, they must. But can these people still work at that level? The work rate is, already blunted by the time they have spent in office. That's why I give an example of El-Rufai being here 20 years ago and returning to 8 years after. I don't see what he is bringing to the table. It's essentially my opinion. And I am entitled to it.
Okay.
And finally, also, I think it's commendable to say that the president gave women 25%. That's a push towards affirmative action, 55%. 25% is not bad. It's a good start. And the president should go the whole hog and maintain a minimum of that 25% in the balance of 13 to 15 ministerial nominees that will come in. Because if you watch the trend, some states got a double nomination like Cross River. It's because of regional representation. What that means is that 4 regions we still have to bring, then the 11 states we still have to bring. That will make it, at least 15 nominees that we expect that will form the second batch.
All right, thank you.
And the president, for God's sake, should try and look for exceptionally competent Nigerians. Use this opportunity to bring in exceptionally competent Nigerians. He should look around the world Our people are everywhere doing excellently well, developing other nations and other economies. We need to repatriate such people and deploy them to solve our debilitating problem confronting the nation at the moment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Law MEFOR, ever reliable guest. Dr. Law MEFOR is a forensic and social psychologist. He's also a media and communication strategist. Thank you so much, Dr. Law MEFOR, for your interventions on Insight. Well, that's our package on the program today. We return tomorrow with another edition. My name is Lawrence UMOETTE. Enjoy the rest of your day.